Hey, Star do most Slant. It's me, Spiker. Come to a video. In this video, I am turning the 7 Deadly Sins anime characters into dragons. I've not already done something similar to this. I'm actually using the characters themselves, not their sins. So yeah, the order of the ones I did were Meliodas, Diane, then Bond, followed by King. Then, who was it? Gother. Then, Merlin. And the final one was, Escanor. Now, roll intro and let's get into this video. Let's go. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. Okay, the first dragon I'm talking about today is a dragon known as the demonic Rascin dragon. All these dragons are somewhat related to the last dragons I was talking about, the 7 Deadly Sin dragon. Those guys were relatively powerful. But these were like if you took the sin, put in another dragon body, and then boosted its power 100 times over. They're powerful, trust me. This one can mostly be found in mountainous regions, but it also is most likely to mate with another type of dragon that's actually very kind and is actually something like a god as compared to him. It's weird, okay? Trust me. But let me go to the powers of this creature. The record is also part of the Razortail, the Swordtail family, which is an off branch of the Razortail. The Razortails are basically just dragons that most likely will have some type of biological male coming off their tail end. The difference between them and a Swordtail is that a Swordtail is longer and has different patterns. This one has a weird blade at the end. The blade is coming off the end of the tail, like it always does. But it has 3 indents going downward. Four actually. On one side. And the other, in the middle of the blade, and for like it's split down the middle. Side, like up and down. Like eggs going forward, that's how it's split. The top one big piece that's going upwards, that forms the tip of the blade, is actually green, but the bottom lobe is actually the metal piece. It's biological, trust me, I've run some tests. And this dragon is quite weird. It has a very big head. Looks like it's grinning all the time. It's freaky, trust me. But also it has weird patterns on it. The front 2 legs are have like a little gauntlet. But in reality it's actually just its arm. It's just very thick skin that turn scales that are colored purple. Same thing with the wings and the back end. Also has 2 back pieces, like patterns on the back of it. It also has horns on the top of its head, the side of its head, and below its jaw. The ones on the top of its head are yellow, sort of a blondish yellow, and the other ones are all black. The claws are black. It has 6 spikes on its tail, which are also black, and spikes on each wing, which are also black. So yeah, it gets those from the Rascin dragon. The thing is relatively small, only weighing in a few tons, but get this, what was it? Oh yeah, it's relatively small, it's a true dragon for the record. The thing has actually has only around a 70-foot wingspan and a 60-foot long length body. So yeah, it's very strong. Now I forgot to mention the powers. The powers of this creature are all the same, and trust me, it's a very powerful creature. Some of the most notable ones are full counter and revenge counter. Full counter is if it takes damage from an opponent, it has two options: to just dish it back out on them, or just stockpile it and wait for a stronger opponent to come along for them to just knock the lights out. Revenge counter is when they're pissed. It's basically like full counter, but 10 times more powerful. Assault mode is when its powers are increased, so where revenge counter goes up to around 20 times, and full counter goes up to 10 times. And then Demon King. That form just boosts everything out the wazoo. There's not much of a change, but they just get a little stronger. You can tell by their aura they give off. Let's get to the next one. This next dragon is actually a worm. It's a very weird worm, too. This dragon is known as the Envious Club-tailed Worm, or Envious Worm for short. This dragon has blue eyes and a black slit, which, aka the pupil, can't be found in the in like different areas of the world, just like the last one. But this one is mostly found in green areas, very hilly. The way it gets its name is because it's like you took the sin of envy. It's able to grab things, but it's not able to keep them. The thing is sometimes mistaken for being greedy, but in reality it's just jealous. And also the more they have, the bigger they get. So yeah, there's that end. Now the way they get their name, the middle part of their name, Club-tailed, is from the warhammer-like thing on their tail. They are usually around 200 feet long. That's very big. Anyone who's able to soul bond to one of these is powerful, trust me. You can soul bond if the last one. Someone were to soul bond with it, its lifespan is actually around, get this, about as long as the domestic black dragon, which clocks in around 2 million years at the oldest. This one clocks in around 1 million years at the oldest. This one, the Envious Worm, has a lifespan that ends up around one and technically closer to around 900,000 years. So yeah, these dragons are pretty old. Let's get to the next one. The third dragon I am looking at is actually a wyvern. A wyvern is a mix between a dragon and a wyvern. The way you get that name is, like wyverns, I'm just going to give a brief description how they were created, and I'm going to go more in depth when I get to a true wyvern later when I'm talking about some more powerful dragons. They were created in a lab by mixing DNA from a true dragon and a wyvern, trying to make it as big as a true dragon, but give it the wings of a wyvern. Did not go well, made a very medium-sized true dragon, but the front legs, it crawls around on all fours, but the wings are actually attached to the arms, and they attach to the back, giving it the wyvern part. Now, this one is actually known as the greedy fox-like Wyvern, or the greedy Wyvern. They're also members of the Razortail family, and the off branch is the chained Razortail family, because it has biological bones that are encoded in metal that protrude from the actual back of the tail, and they actually are very limp, and it swings that around quite a lot. It has three pieces: the actual razor end of the tail, the middle piece, which is thicker than the rest, the tail that is as thick as the middle piece, and then two very thick looking bone protrusions coated in biological metal. If you get hit by one of those, you're going to be unconscious for a while. The wing, it has a fox-like face a little, but the main way you got its name is from its colors, which is just basically orange. It has black claws, and the horns on its head are actually similar to ears. It's able to hear from them because it has little ears in them. It's quite weird, trust me. But those are mostly horns. The wingspan, when crawling around, and aka its full wingspan is around. So like this is a relatively small dragon, since it's also a member of the Zuberator family. So yeah, it's the wingspan is from somewhere around, if I remember correctly, it's actually 30 to 40 feet long. I guess it's a 20 to 30 feet long body. And the tail is around 10 feet itself. Well, technically closer to around 8 feet. But trust me, it's a very strong dragon. It's able to use something called Fox Hunt, which uses it allows it to steal strength from opponents to increase its own strength. And also they have a near mortal lifespan. But they are mostly stuck in their young age, but after around, and their lifespan is, like I said, near infinite. But there are some cases that they die. They give their immortality up to be with another dragon, or in order for them to have a human kid. Those are rare, but I know of someone named Bond who is part one of these things. And he's a nice guy. Actually, there are little human forms of all these dragons. I might go over them later on with my brother anyways. Other than that, I don't really have any information on them. Besides, an upgraded version called Snatch, I believe. It also has an ability called Gift, which is a very rare ability for them. It allows them to gift their some of their abilities or strength to a ally of some. And it's actually a relatively friendly dragon if you are nice to it. Get it? Nice to it. If you piss it off, you're dead, man. Well, let's get to the next one. The next dragon I am looking at is a drake. But don't be fooled, this drake is powerful in of itself. By looking at some opponents, it can make them very slow and sloth-like. And they're very lazy when they look at it. It is somehow able to fly, but very short periods of time. This drake is known as the Rascin bear-clawed drake, or the bear sloth drake. Its tail is similar to a three-pronged spear. That being a spear with a very long metal tip piece at the very end, but then has two smaller protrusions on the side at the top as well. Like, the actual blade is around a foot long, and these two are around maybe a few inches, but still very sharp. It's also a member of the swordtail family, but technically it's the razortail family and the speartail family. It really hates its relative. One of the earliest ones I went over. The dragon known as the douche spear dragon. Like when I say hate, I mean hate beyond belief, as in they would get into fights regularly, just so they would have a reason to beat the face in of it. And I don't argue with it. I hate those dragons too. But some other notable abilities from it is its ability to be very energetic, and also the way it's got its name, the bear clawed part, is because it has two forearms on its front legs. They look like bear paws, and they actually are. DNA shows that they are biological, but they have somewhat DNA from a bear. The type of bear depends on the region. Polar bears, Antarctica, or anywhere that's cold, to be honest. But those dragons are very hard to find. But they are very adaptable. These dragons are mostly used as herding dragons and very rarely racing dragons. But they're mostly used as fighting dragons. But that is very illegal. I've had to bust up a few rings. I actually managed to save one from nearly being killed. It was a small baby too. So, yeah, I've built my own fair roster of dragons that I have. Some other things. Lifespan clocks in around maybe 800,000 years. Yeah, they also are very fast dragons, which is quite ironic for their name. Let's get to the next one. Now, the next dragon I'm looking at is another drake, and this one is known as the armored looking lust sin drake, or armored lust drake. It's part of the biological metal family, but that's because the pieces that look armored are actually biological metal. They are just very thick scales that are biological. They have a few bone protrusions to the tip of the skin. That's where they come from. Their horns look like goat horns, and the back legs, the front legs, all the way up to the neck and their midsection are all coated in the metal. But the back section is clear, all except for the legs. All that is just, the rest of it's just coated in the biological metal. Again, these are also used as racing dragons because they can also secrete a very nauseous pheromone, but they are very intelligent creatures too. They are very rare to see in the wild because they are not really, they're mostly domesticated, like most drakes, but they are very hard to tame because they are, like I already stated, intelligent. And also the claws of the front and back of the leaves, well, technically the front claws of this drake aren't coated in the biological metal either, but like I already stated, still very powerful. Remember having to hunt one of these things. It was, yet again, well, technically it just had a bad owner, and it was trained to be an attack drake. The thing barely did any damage to me, and look, it was weak enough to where I didn't have to wear any armor. So I managed to go in there with a suppression gun. Basically what it does, the gun allows me to shoot a magical pulse out that suppresses basically anything in a 5-mile radius of the or that's just the first setting. The second setting is more of a bullet, but it doesn't use that much energy, but it's very hard to use because how much energy is building up. You have to be careful because when you shoot one off, you have to shoot like 2 others off. Those are just to release the backlog of energy, or else you could risk blowing your face up. But good enough for me, I accidentally did that the first time I was using it. But also good enough for me, I have a regeneration ability. So trust me, it was a very, very horrendous scar I have. Well, technically that scar is very small, but still it's quite noticeable. It's a giant gash-looking scar that goes down my face and down under my mouth a little, but it's like right next to my eye. And closer I would have been nearly blind in that eye. But I also managed to get it away from its owner. After a while, I managed to train it to where it's a lot nicer. Still has some violent tendencies, but I actually own the dragon now. So, yeah, saved a dragon from an abusive owner. That's a wholesome story right there. Let's get to the next one. The next one I am looking at is also another Wyvern. Wyvern. It's called the Magical Gluttonous Wyvern, or Gluttonous Wyvern. It's a very weird one. The reason why is because the head is a little bit bigger than usual. Like 1.5 times bigger. So, yeah. It also has curved wings, and also on the top of the mouth, it has 2 horns, but are actual teeth. You know how a boar has tusks poking out? Well, same thing here, except the tusks are on the top row. So yeah. Another weird thing is it has 2 ends of the tail. One is a mouth, one is the actual magical ball it can use to shoot energy attacks at, but also it has an ability called Gluttonous that allows it to eat basically anything magical within reason, and it has near infinite energy to do so. The reason why it eats the magical stuff is so that way it can get a boost in power. Yeah, sorry. Its magic isn't very high, but it can still do a lot of spells. There's a human version of these dragons. They're all human offspring. Do have a tail with 2 ends, but the other end is but both ends are mouths. The magical ball is just always around them. Their tusks are actually on the back of their head like actual horns. But, like I already stated, other than that, it's your average Wyvern. Other than their supernaturally longer lifespan of around 1 million years. So, yeah. And they're Wyverns only usually live around 200,000 years, so yeah, it has a lot of weird different things from it. Let's get to the next one. Now, the next one I'm looking at is the last one. This one is known as the Fiery Axetailed Air Soaring Dragon, or Fiery Axetailed. The reason why is because, like the name suggests, it has a fireball. Well, technically, it's an axe like protrusion on the end of its tail. It also is able to cast giant fireballs, and one of its abilities is Cruel Sun, meaning it can create a very giant and powerful fireball that's about as hot as the surface of the sun. also has spikes going all the way from the top of the head to the back of the body. And like most Asian dragons, it uses magic to fly around, but technically pyrokinesis. It can also shoot the fire from its mouth, but it's not as powerful. And the axe on its tail is also very powerful in of itself. Lifespan clocks in around, if I remember correctly, around 500,000 years. So 500,000 years. So that's pretty freaking long lifespan. The length is actually around 50 feet. So there's that. And since there's not really much known about these dragons, they also have another ability called a 1 minute form, because at high noon, that's when they're most powerful. They're about as strong as a demonic wrath. That was the first dragon I went over. So, yeah, they're very powerful dragons. Well, that's all the dragons I'm going to go over for today. See you next time. Now, the reason why there's no mid-video interruption was because this video took so long to make. I decided not to throw one in there because this video is already long enough. Now, that's all the time I got for today's video. Until next time, subscribe to Spiky Starman or Demons Alliance. Goodbye and peace out.